All right, guys, so today we have an incredible speaker for you, a guy that I've got tons of respect for. And man, somebody trained him really good. I mean, I don't know who this field training officer was, but he was awesome. All right, so I'm turning this over to Porf.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Porf Gallegos, and I'm a K-9 handler for the Burlington Police Department. I've been with the police department 7 years now. I'm originally from the Chicagoland area. My wife and I met at Iowa City. I applied everywhere, and the Burlington Police Department was the first place I offered, so I've been here ever since. I've been married for 9 years. I have a 3-year-old son. I've been in the Burlington area ever since I got hired here, and we've enjoyed it. It's been fun. It's been a good place to work at. So I enjoy what I do. I've held a bunch of different positions, and I'll get to that later. But the best position I've had is the one I'm currently in as a K-9 handler. My partner's name is K-9 Chase. He's a 5-year-old German Shepherd, and you guys will get to see him later. K-9 Chase is 102 pounds. He is up to my waist. He's a very big dog, and he's also a very mean dog, so you'll get to see that and see how he gets to work. So I'll just kind of go through the listening points. I'll talk a little bit about some of the stuff I have here and a little bit about what Chase can do and what we do on the daily. If you guys have any questions, please raise your hand. I'll do my best to answer them. I enjoy coming to Carper's class and talking to you guys because it's a nice way for you guys to see kind of what the police department has to offer, but more importantly, see us outside of the line of work. So I didn't wear my uniform here today because I will be here all day and I wanted to be really comfortable, but other than that, typically I'm in about 30 pounds of equipment, so that's really not fun, and we wear that for 12-hour shifts. So why did I get into this career? I grew up without English as my first language. I actually speak Spanish, and Spanish is my first language. So I grew up watching a lot of TV, and when I was growing up, there were movies like Rush Hour, or there's TV shows like Cops or Law and Order SVU. And to be honest with you, I just watched a lot of Law and Order SVU, and I thought being a cop looked really cool, so I grew to it. And then when I was in school, I was a part of ESL, or English as a Second Language. Through that program, I was actually paired with a police officer in my hometown, and he would come and we would read books together, and I just thought he had a really cool job. As I grew up, I learned that there are K-9 handlers, and you can go to work and have a dog as your partner, and I thought, man, that'd be really cool. So I went to Western Illinois University, where I graduated with a bachelor's in law enforcement. Yep. Then I went to Eastern Illinois University, where I got my master's in counseling, and that's where I met my wife, and that's what brought us here. So I think that one of the main reasons I stayed in law enforcement is the same reason that drew me into it, is because it is the only career where nothing is the same. It's the only career where every day looks different. You have the opportunity to genuinely save a life every day and make a difference no matter how big or small. So I think that's super important. I think people oftentimes don't realize that we are the catch-all. So when you call the police, it's because you have a problem, and you're literally calling somebody to fix your problem, and we do our best to fix it. Some of the different things that I really enjoy about my career is I'm not in an office. I don't sit in a classroom all day. I get to drive around in my squad car and honestly train with my dog. I do training with my dog every single day. And truly, for the last 3 years that Chase and I have been together, has been the most fun. Chase is different from other dogs in the aspect that Chase is dog aggressive, so that means he can't be around other boy dogs. He gets along with girl dogs fine, but that's because he's also been bred, so he enjoys being around girl dogs. He's handler aggressive, so sometimes he will turn and try to bite me. Chase has bitten me twice, and we've handled that accordingly. He's also people aggressive, so Chase doesn't like anybody but me, which has its ups and downs, right? Because when I pull up to somebody and we get to tussle it, I let them know stop fighting or getting a bit. Chase is also letting them know, let me out of the car, let me out of the car, let me out of the car. So it's been fun, man. I really love being a K-9 handler. It's the most fun I've had at the PD, and I get to see my work every single day in Chase. I also, what else do I love about my job? I love chasing cars, and I say that to everybody. Being a K-9 handler, if you're employed at the Burlington Police Department, and a chase comes into town, I'm one of the only officers who's allowed to immediately run to the pursuit, just in case. There's a high likelihood of officer safety that the individual who's involved in a pursuit will eventually bail and run from the car. Then that's when my K-9 partners utilize to track and apprehend the individual. So I say that all the time. That's one of the highs. That being said, you also have to think of the liability with it. So a lot encompasses that. I think that's proactive policing makes a difference every day, and I think that's super important. Some of the different positions I've held at the department. I've been a field training officer, so that's a person who trains new officers whenever they get hired. Carper was one of my training officers when I was going through the program. I'm on bike patrol, so back when I was just getting started, I used to wear shorts and a funny shirt to work, and I got to ride my bike around at night, so I've done that. I'm also on the water rescue team or boat patrol, so my dog and I can go on the boat and go out to islands and enforce laws on the river and do that kind of stuff. I'm a CIT officer, or individuals who are in crisis. I'm our only bilingual officer, so I get calls about that every day. I was a detective for 18 months, and I handled general crime. I've handled everything from kidnappings to homicides to sexual assaults to your basic white-collar crime or elder abuse or things like that. So I've worked a lot of big cases in that aspect. I've worked with the federal government, the FBI, the marshals, and assisting different arrests and things like that. So that's been super cool. The DEA, I did that for 18 months, and then I stepped out of that to step into my current role as a K-9 handler. Anything else I missed in there, Carper?
I think you covered all of your stuff.
Yeah. And I've done all that within the last 7 years. So I still have a relatively young career. I've done a lot in those 7 years, and it's been very fun. The Burlington Police Department has given me a lot of trust and has valued my work and has rewarded me with that work for putting me in those positions. So I always say the Burlington Police Department is a great department if you want to be a good officer and be given a lot of experience doing a lot of things. How has it affected my life or my family life? So my life is affected every single day because Chase actually lives with me. So I don't get any days off work. I may not have to go in and work patrol that day, but my life and work are very intertwined. I mentioned earlier that Chase is people aggressive, so my wife can't be around my dog, my son can't be around my dog. Chase lives in our backyard in an outdoor kennel during summertime, and then during the wintertime, he lives in my garage in a nice furnished and heated kennel as well. So every day, I have the same routine. I wake up, I get my son up, I get him dressed and changed, and I get him all settled and watching TV and hanging out with my wife. Then I go outside and I get to do the same thing with Chase. I get to feed him. I get to make sure his kennel's fine, nothing's in there. I check his body and make sure he didn't grow any lumps, bumps, or anything like that. And then I have to essentially just make sure he's good to go for the day. I go drop my son off at daycare, and then I come back and I pick Chase up and we go to training. And that's my every single day. So that's how my life is affected by it. I also get call outs. So if Chase is needed, the police department calls me in at a moment's notice. I have to go home, put Chase in my squad car. I get a take home squad car. It's Chase's nice car. Put him in the squad car and we get to go to work. So that's another way that my life's been affected. The biggest way, and my wife will tell you this, is Chase is with me. When I say all the time, I literally mean 24/7. Chase can't be boarded. So when we leave, he comes with. So he hangs out at my mom's garage when I go to my mom's house back in the Chicagoland area, or he hangs out in my father-in-law's garage when we go to Kansas City where my wife's from. So this dog is literally with me 24/7, 365. It can get to be a lot sometimes, and sometimes I grow weary of the barking, but when he doesn't bark, then I start thinking, okay, what's wrong? It throws off my normal. So that's how my life has been affected, literally every single day. Some advice for somebody who's interested in this career is to get involved early. We have programs like the Police Explorers where you can actually come to the police department, work with different officers, everything from our detectives to the K-9 handler program to patrol. You get to come and do ride-alongs and be involved and really get your feet wet with everything that comes with law enforcement. I think it's a great program. I push it to everybody. If you're interested in law enforcement, I always recommend you get involved in your local police department. There's some capacity that you can do something in there. You can also continue your education, but what I tell people is if you're really interested in it, is come in and do a ride along and see if it's for you. I think it's a lot of, you really get your eyes open when you come and work down at the police department, and we're really good about what we can do. I mean, my nights look from everything like, I'll tell you, my last shift, I did everything from taking a bat out of a person's house, to helping an old lady get back into her house because she locked herself out, to picking up a pound of methamphetamine off of a traffic stop. That's what my nights look like. They're very different, and I push for you to get involved. That's something that's important to you. If you're also interested in this career, I would also tell you to do what you're passionate about. Carper is really passionate about bicycles and riding bikes and things like that, so he excelled in our bike patrol. I'm very passionate about dogs. I've loved dogs ever since I was a kid, so I knew I would excel in the canine handler program. Some people are very passionate about crime scene and victim advocation, so they become great detectives, they become great interviewers. Something as simple as being sociable and talking to people goes a long way within the career. It's something you can do and talk to people and interview with people. So really find what you love and enjoy working for it. I truly believe that if you do something you love for work, you don't feel like you're working. That kind of covers all of your points for the sheet. I'm going to talk a little bit about Chase and what we're going to do. Like I said, Chase is a 5-year-old German Shepherd. He's bicolored, so he's got a black coat and brown paws. He's got a little bit of gray in his chest and a little bit of gray in his beard, and that's just because he's a little bit older. Chase and I met 3 years ago. I was the first person who picked him up when he flew to the United States. He's from the Netherlands. He had another handler before me, and I actually had another dog before Chase. Interestingly enough, we have 2 handlers at all times working at the Burlington Police Department. My senior handler, Clay Beckman, his dog Rico, they're set to retire next October. So when they said, hey, we're looking for a new canine handler, I was a detective at the time, and I said, I want it. That's what I wanted. When I interviewed at the police department, I said I want to be a canine handler here. Everybody thought I was crazy for leaving my detective position to come back to patrol and handle a dog, but I didn't think twice about it. I was lucky enough to be awarded the position, and once I was, I got to meet my partner at that time, Paco. We worked together for 6 months. He was super cool. He was a 75-pound bicolored German Shepherd. He was the nicest dog I've ever met. I mean, anybody could pet him. He could be around my son, he could be around my wife. He was very chill, and he could go into work mode whenever he needed. Unfortunately, we didn't know at the time that Paco had an undiagnosed degenerative heart condition. So I literally dropped him off with our trainer Monday morning. The trainer called me Monday night and said, hey, your dog is dead. He died from an undiagnosed heart condition. So that happened 2 weeks before we were supposed to go to our certification school so that we can become a team and hit the streets and do what we needed to do. So I said, okay, that kind of stinks. What are we going to do? Through the woodworking at the very same time, unbeknownst to me, Chase's previous handler, who lives in the Netherlands, he's one of the trainers and breeders for the companies we get our dog through. Our kennel's called Canine Working Dogs International. So what this guy's job is he literally raises police dogs. He has a kennel where police dogs are born, and he gets to pick and choose, okay, this dog's good at this dog's good at this, so this is what they're gonna do. And doing that, he also gets to pick dogs for competitions. It's called Schützen. It's a police dog competition in the Netherlands. And he said, I really like this puppy, so he's gonna be my competition dog. So Chase and this guy worked competitions and won competitions for 2 years. But as they were hitting their 3-year, 2.5-year mark, this guy developed some back issues, and somehow during training he got hurt. Long story short, he couldn't handle a dog anymore. So he called our kennel guy and said, hey, my competition dog he's really good. I'd hate for him to go to waste. Like, I really think he would be a great police dog. Subsequently, this happened at the same time that my other partner passed. So they asked me, hey, do you want to take on this dog? With the big warning of, hey, this is a lot of dog. He's a big German Shepherd. He's a lot of dog. If this is something you want, you need to let me know, but know that this is a lot of dog. And at the time I said, yep, we'll pick it up. And I actually got to go to O'Hare and pick up Chase right from the airport. And he's been with me ever since. He's been super cool. We've been great partners. There was a lot of growing pains, but we're finally hitting our stride, and we're getting along great. Ever since then, Chase and I have been together on the streets. We've certified through 3 different organizations, the first of which is our kennel, the second of which is the United States Police K-9 Officers Association, where we go through a 2-day narcotics trial where we have several hides. Everything is blind, they don't tell us where anything is, and our dog has to find every hide or we don't certify. We also go through the Dogs for Law Enforcement Conference, where it's a week-long conference of bite work, having to prove that our dogs can come off bite physically, verbally. We can recall them. Same thing with narcotics hides. We have to find X number of hides and they're all blind. We don't know where they are. We can't miss one or we fail. And then we also have to do a tracking certification where we literally are taken to a spot and they say, hey, this person ran away. This is the last place we saw him, and your dog has to find them. The tracks can be anywhere from a half mile to a mile to 100 yards. You don't know, but your dog has to find them to certify. That kind of transitions into a little bit of what Chase and I do. We have 3 certifications: narcotics. Chase is certified to detect the odor of methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin, psilocybin mushrooms, ecstasy or MDMA, marijuana, fentanyl, and all their derivatives, right? So Chase can pick up the most minute smell, and you'll see a demonstration later where I literally put a Q-tip into a box. There's 3 boxes, and he'll be able to find that Q-tip that's just been in the odor. We do that daily. We can do it on traffic stops. We can do it on search warrants. We train that stuff every single day. That's his bread and butter. We also do obedience, or him just plain out listening to me, putting him in a sit, putting him in a down, putting him between my legs, him walking to my side, making sure that he stays under control the whole time, me putting him in a down and making sure that he stays in that down and Chase doesn't move until I tell him to do so. So that's a little bit of that. We do tracking or human locating or article locating. So what Chase can do is if a child or a person goes missing from a home, I just need to be given the last direction or the last place they were seen, and I can actually have Chase go into a down. I give him his track command, and he will use the odors that person has left in the area to find them. So we've done that for a missing 1.5-year-old that ran into Crapo Park late at night. We've done it for a person who was trying to steal a car and ran away from it. We found that. We do that type of work every single day.
You got to tell him about how friendly your dog was when you first met him.
So when I first met Chase, he didn't like anybody, right? I just picked him up from the airport. He just flew for 18 hours over the sea, and I was the first person he met. And he actually had to stay in his kennel for about another 12 hours because he was just bugging out. I had to hand feed Chase from my hand to his mouth for 3 months before he even started to really trust me. So you'll see this later on. Our bond is really strong. Right now I'm able to pull Chase off of a bite verbally, which is super cool. But that just comes with time and discipline. I talked a little bit about pulling Chase off of a bite. That's the last thing we do. Chase is also used for apprehension. So what that means is Chase will bite somebody and hold on to them until I pull him off of them. So he is used in that capacity as a use of force tool. Chase is trained to protect me from the vehicle. I have a little button on my work belt that I can push and his door automatically pops open. And when the door pops open, Chase knows to find me. After he finds me, he knows, okay, my guy's fighting with this guy needs to be bit. And he will be on that bite until I pull him off. Nobody else is able to pull him off. There's no special command. You can't choke him off. You can't do anything else. He stays on bite until I tell him to come off. So that is lastly a little bit of what he does. Chase can jump into cars. He can jump through windows. He can do anything and everything he needs to do to be able to apprehend a person. So those are kind of the main focuses of what we do. The stuff we do daily is most of our narcotics work. And everything else kind of trickles in through that. That being said, I'm expected to do 16 hours of training every single month. We go above and beyond and usually do about 20, 21. And that's kind of what that looks like. A little bit about what you see here. This is one of Chase's, this is his PR vest or his little public relations vest that I'll put on him when we do things. You can see it's all badged out. It says police everywhere. Chase is a sworn officer. He has his own badge, which is right here. He wears this, and he's treated the same as any other officer. Chase has an employee number. I get paid what he's supposed to get paid. He wears everything. He's a police officer for the entirety of his career. His career is typically around 5 years old, and we like to retire our dogs after that. You'll see that Chase has 3 collars on. The first is just a regular 2-inch flat collar. It says police on it, it's got a handle. That's his work collar. He knows that when I hook him onto that, he's doing some type of work. He wears a electronic collar or a shock collar. I have a little remote in my back pocket that he wears. It usually serves as an extension of the leash. This can go up to 125. He has it set to 30, and that's where it doesn't bother him, but it stimulates him, and he knows that he needs to either come back or listen to what I'm telling him to do. He also just wears what's called a fur saver, or you'll see it as just a metal collar, and that's what he wears 24/7, 365, and that's just his little I'm off work. Like, I'll hook it up to that when he needs to listen, but it's nothing crazy. I have different muzzles for Chase. This is his vet muzzle, or he gets his play muzzle, so I'll let him play with my pet dog and put this on him so he loves it. But I also make him wear this at the vet, so obviously he doesn't tag the vet or do anything like that. Anytime Chase goes to the vet, he has to be sedated. He has a dentist appointment in 2 weeks where he will be sedated. They have to pull a tooth. So it's for the safety of the vet and everybody else, so he enjoys it. This is his working muzzle, so he'll wear this when we're doing police work with decoys, not outside of a bite suit. A bite suit is a big furry suit that handlers will wear to take bites from the police dogs for training. So this is something that Chase wears when he is deployed on somebody who's not wearing a suit in training, and it just kind of helps simulate that ability to apprehend and bite somebody. I have leashes and other things at the car, different rewards. This is just one of the balls that's a reward ball where Chase gets this after he's located narcotics. You'll see that I'll throw it, he'll chew it, I'll play with him, he loves his ball. Chase doesn't get any treats. He doesn't eat anything but dog food. He doesn't get pup cups, he doesn't do anything. He eats 4 cups of the Purina Pro Plan 30/20, salmon and rice, and that's all he eats, right? Can anybody tell me why it's important that that's all he eats? Why I would never give him any treats or give him any people food?
I mean, just to keep him healthy.
That's a good one. Anything else?
Some people can't trick them with food.
That's exactly it. So Chase doesn't get treats, he doesn't get any food because people in their cars will have McDonald's, will have dog food, will have treats. It's for court testifying purposes to say that, hey, my dog could care less about your McDonald's, your Wendy's. I'll actually have training where I'll put food in without a hide and he doesn't care about it. It's all for court testimony purposes. And the only times that Chase gets rewarded are when he does good, when he's got his toy, and you'll see me play with him a little bit. The last big reward is when he gets to bite somebody. Carper's gonna have a big wicker bite sleeve on, and you'll see he loves biting that thing. It's what he loves to do. It's his training, it's his work. That kind of covers all of my work stuff about Chase. Do you guys have any questions about anything at all? What time is this class over, Carp?
Is it 10:10?
Yeah.
I don't know if the demo's gonna take 30 minutes, but any questions about what I do, about anything else, any dog stuff, anything?
Have you clocked your dog yet?
Have I struck my dog?
Yeah, clocked it for how fast he can run.
I have not, but he's pretty fast. We can put you pretty far out and you can see how fast he is. He's a lot faster than me. Mm-hmm.
After you retire, are you going to keep the dog?
That's a good question. So I will probably, Chase will retire long after me. Do you mean what happens to Chase after he retires? So when Chase retires, so after 5 years of working, mind you, we're starting year 3 right now, so we're about halfway. When Chase hits 5 years of service, the city, because Chase is actually owned by the city of Burlington, he's not owned by me. The city of Burlington will say, hey, we're going to retire your dog. We would like to sell him to you for $1. So when he's retired, I'll give the city $1. They'll give me all the signed paperwork that, hey, he's now your dog. And when I do retire Chase, I'm going to take everything away from him. I'm going to take his flat collar, I'm going to take his rewards, I'm going to take everything and just keep him on a nice 1-inch collar with his name on it. And then I'm going to let Chase in the house. I'm going to give him steaks, people food, treats, whatever he wants. And I'm not going to let him bite anybody. And hopefully that starts desensitizing him to like, oh wow, I'm being treated really good and I'm not doing any of that other bite of police work stuff, so I can just relax. And I can let him up on the couch, and I look forward to the day when Chase can retire. I think it'll be good for him. So, but until then, he's locked in. He is ready to work at a drop's notice. You'll see when I get him out of the car, he's going to be pacing, and he's going to be like, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? So, good question.
Has he been anybody yet?
He is not. We've had, I can pull up my stats real quick. We've had 85 arrests, and I think 50 of those have been largely narcotics based, but I can tell you exactly how many straight up apprehensions we've had that have resulted in arrests. There's a system or a company we pay to keep track of all of our locates and hides and things of that nature, so I can pull it up at a moment's notice. In the last 30 days, we've had 5 patrol deployments, 5 people who have been arrested, and nobody's been bitten. But overall, I would probably say we've had about 40 surrenders where I've said, hey, come out or you're gonna get bit, police K-9, and people have been like, please don't let that dog bite me. So, or I've said, hey, get out of your car, I'm gonna throw him through this window, you're gonna be bit. No, please don't let that dog out. So,
Especially once they see that dog.
yeah, he's a big guy. So, any other questions about anything, guys? Anything? Ask me anything. Nothing?
Crickets.
Yeah.
You know, I'd prep these guys for a week to have them come up with questions for you.
I hear you. Let's get a couple more, and then we'll go outside and we'll see Chase do his thing.
Think. Nothing else, guys?
I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I can see the smoke.
There's plenty of different types of police dogs, and I should have prepared a presentation, but I didn't. So police dogs can do tons of different things, right? I've seen police dogs who, for example, K-9 Max with the State Patrol. He is a black lab, and what K-9 Max does is he works at ICAC, or the Internet Crimes Against Children Division, and Max can actually locate electronics. So Max is trained to locate cell phones, flash drives, computers, anything, TV remotes, anything electronic where people can store things digitally. So I've seen Max come into a house where we were serving a search warrant on an individual who was going to be arrested for child pornography. His owner just cuts him off a leash, gives him a search command. Max can walk into a room, kind of sniffs around, does his thing, and then he goes like this. And he'll sit. And the guy had actually stuffed flash drives in his ceiling filled with child pornography. So police dogs can do tons of good things. I've seen another one who is an arson dog, so he can detect the odor of accelerants. Accelerants are things that are like gasoline, dynamite, things that explode or ignite. And he's been brought in to help with a guy who was making bombs. And same thing, search command, guy cuts him off. Max is a yellow lab. He kind of walked around, goes to this closet, sits, and the guy was making pipe bombs in his apartment here in town. So it's been really cool. Dogs can also be service dogs or anxiety dogs. I don't know. Yep. Go ahead.
What's your position gonna be after Chase retires?
That's a good question. I don't know, because I've been having so much fun doing this. I don't know if I'll step into an investigative role again. I would really like to run another dog again. Being a canine handler has been the most fun I've had, and I can't imagine myself doing anything else. I'd like to run another dog again, which leads me to what else I was going to talk about is you can have anything from a Schnauzer to different labs to Dutch Shepherds, which are a little smaller versions of German Shepherds, or Belgian Malinois as work dogs. I'd like to run a Belgian Malinois or a Dutchie again. They're the same type of dog, just a lot smaller, thinner fur, less health issues. They weigh about 55 to 60 pounds. I can pick Chase up. It takes us a minute, but I can do it. Those other dogs I can just pick up and throw over my shoulder, and I think that'd be super cool. So that's what I would like to do. If that happens, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Dogs can be anxiety dogs. They can help people with disabilities. They can be sightseeing dogs. Dogs are cool, man. I love dogs.
They can sniff cancer.
They can sniff cancer. They have research doing that. I have a pet dog, Sam, at home. She's a little she's a Beagle Boxer mix. She's a great pet, terrible dog. And I say Chase is a great dog, terrible pet. So my dog Sam has never growled at my son. My son can ride her around. He can do whatever. He pulls on her ears, and she's never sniffed or bit at him again. So dogs are fantastic. I think they're super cool. Anything else?
We ready to go outside?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
First thing we're going to do is in our